Good morning, everyone. It is January 11th, 2024, and I'm here to talk about the dark moon that is happening in Capricorn right now. Um, One thing that's very special about this dark moon that everyone's pointing out is it's the angel number 111. And so that's always the beginning. Um, I always see, one is the self, the I am presence. So this is a good time to really be focusing on the self. This is a really good time to start saying I am. um, Fill in the blank. And this is the right time to really focus on who you are right now and how to be in the present. I also found what was interesting is that if you add up all the numbers today, it adds up to the number two, right? But well, let me start over. So if you add up all the numbers today, it is 11, right? And so we always talk about the number 11 is that portal, right? 111. The 1111 portal, right? Because it's two ones, right? And it's a doorway we get to walk through. And on January 20th, Pluto enters Aquarius at 0 degrees of Aquarius. And if you add up all those numbers on that day, you also get 11. So this is a really ripe, fertile time to ground ourselves and to realize that there are openings energetically for us to move through. As we keep getting further and further along, we're going to start noticing the energetics of things. My mom, as I was growing up, would always listen to Donna Eden, and she would always say, energy is everything. And she still says that to this day. And if you guys don't know who Donna Eden is, look her up on YouTube. She is a wealth of information. Um, she's a healer, and she uses the different energy centers of the body to heal people. And she does like daily exercises that you guys could do. I do some of her daily exercises every day, actually, before I go to my altars. So look up Donna Eden. She's a great energy healer. But back to this dark moon, back to the number 11, back to the portal. Um, you know, if you have 11 and then in numerology, it'd be 1 plus 1, which boils down to 2. And 2 is you in the other, right? So um, 2 could be the idea of duality, and we're rethinking this idea of duality. It's just not black and white. Um, Duality actually, to me, allows us to enter into a different way of being, into alchemy, because when we have a couple things, when they work together, then a third energy is created. And we could go into that being Father, Son, Holy Ghost, um, God, Goddess, yourself. So it's a rabbit hole. It's a rabbit hole we could go down. What the point I'm trying to make though, with this time is a very fertile time to work with your manifestations. It's a very fertile time to be present in the moment. We have to understand that in order to build our future, we have to come from the present moment. And I think that's um, what Capricorn does at its core. I think it's a core strength of Capricorn. Capricorn is ruled by Sagittarius. Capricorn is ruled by Saturn. Sorry, I was thinking about my coffee. I'm just going to grab it. Capricorn is ruled by Saturn. Saturn right now is in Pisces. And Saturn is bringing a lot of stability to Pisces. Of course, I see it as it's helping us get through that old age of Pisces as we come into this age of Aquarius. But Saturn helps us build. Saturn is the timekeeper, if you will, but Saturn is more about pointing out what's not stable and how we can fix that in order to make it what we want, in order to make things stable. So if you're building from the present, what right now in 2024 in your mind isn't that stable? And that's what you work on. You don't work on 1984. You don't work on 1973. You don't work in the 1960s, right? You don't work in the 1990s, early 2000s. Okay, it's 2024. Saturn in Capricorn wants us present. And from that, we build. Um, when we know it's a dark moon, the moon and the sun are conjunct, so they're together. That's that masculine, divine masculine and divine feminine together. Um, on the dark moon, we rest. On the new moon, there's a sliver. And that's when we start putting down what we want. That's when we start doing our manifestations. Today, the sun and the moon is trining Uranus, who is retrograde in Taurus. Uranus rules Aquarius. Okay, Taurus is fixed earth. Taurus is money. Taurus is how we value ourselves. Taurus is how we value others. Taurus is very creative. Okay, so the sun and the moon are sitting there and they're trining Uranus, who's been churning up the earth, right? Because we're coming into a new way of being. We're coming into this new energy. Uranus has to zap all that old energy. And so the masculine and feminine energy is talking to Uranus and talking to Taurus. And the conversation that they're having is, okay, Uranus, you've done a great job um, churning up all this earth, um, churning up the way that I see myself, the way I value myself. You've done a great job realizing what I don't value any longer, how I don't want to show up in the world. So that's great. And Uranus is like, thank you very much. You know, it's just all a day's work, year's work. It's been there for a while. And what's interesting is that Uranus will station direct at the end of the month. So in Taurus. So this is a good time for our masculine and divine self and feminine energy to talk. That masculine is the moving, the feminine is the receiving, the feminine is the nurturing, right? And it all has to work together. Okay, it's an energy more than how we see it as, you know, boobies and not boobies or whatever, you know. It's more, we're going to move more into this idea of masculine, feminine energy and how we work with it within ourselves and how we see it. And that's really important to moving forward. It's going to be more energetics, right? How we feel than what we see right in front of us right now as we move into this new energy, this new earth, however, you know, however you want to see it or say it. Um, the reality of it is that we're still on Earth, right? So it's going to look a lot like Earth. The difference is how we feel about it, how we feel about ourselves. As we move into this age of Aquarius, it's the self first and then the community, right? It is the individual and then the team, if you will. And so with this dark moon, it's okay to say, I had my friend, she posted the other day on Instagram and she was doing, I don't know, she looked like she was sanding something. And she was like, sometimes, I mean, I'm paraphrasing, so I'm sorry if you're watching this and I'm not saying the right thing, but basically she was saying sometimes my job's mundane, but that's okay. You know, it gives my mind a break, you know, and sometimes we have to see that that's living from the present. Okay. That's like, oh, what am I doing right now? I'm sanding this frame. That's okay. I'm actually kind of grateful for this right now. And when you come from being present, because Capricorn's very present. Capricorn is seeing what's right in front of them. Capricorn is the one that's able to say this isn't stable, so we need to fix that. Um, Capricorn isn't worried. No, Capricorn isn't worried about how the business was started. Okay, all Capricorn worries about is how the business is running right now. What's the business right now? Uh-huh. Okay, right. Takes a little list, makes its notes. Maybe goes back to the water and sits for a while before it decides to stretch its hooves and climb a mountain. I don't know. But I do know Capricorn says, what's happening right now? What's the business right now? So what is your business right now? On the dark moon of Capricorn, moving into this um, age of Aquarius. It's the 11th. This happens in 9 days. What's your business right now? Where are you right now in 2024? I can't stress that enough. We have to create from the present. If you can think of one word, if everything's swirling, you're like, what am I feeling right now? And just pick one word and move from there. Even if that one word right now is overwhelm. Okay, I feel overwhelmed. What do I do right now to not feel overwhelmed? You pick a one word. What's your word right now? Love. Oh, okay, I feel love. This is great. Sit in love. right? You say these words to yourself, you see how they feel in your body because it's about you. Everything is within. Everything from you is within, coming out, right? So use this dark moon in Capricorn to just say where you are right now. If you were just to show up, how would you present? Hello. You're not allowed to bring any baggage. You're like, okay, right now starts, and then I move forward. What are the words and the feelings that you would start with right now? That is, to me, the biggest lesson with this dark moon. It's the first dark moon of 2024. It's telling us to stay present. I mean, I think that's setting the tone for 2024. Stay present. What's stable? If something's not stable, how do we make it stable right now? We can't go back with grandpa's ghost, you know. You can talk to grandpa's ghost, that's another thing. But what do we do right now in 2024 to move things forward? And sometimes moving things forward is making things more simple. Moving things forward. We kind of had that ego busting energy earlier in the week. Moving things forward is realizing, oh, I'm keeping this going, or I think I have to do it that way, or I have to show up like this because my ego says, like the lower ego. You want to be that higher ego, right? Um, so really think about that, you guys, today. But just know, first dark moon, 2024, it's about being present. It's about showing up and creating from exactly where we are right now. Okay. All right, friends. Um, Moon School starts today. I'm so excited. This one's going to be a banger. If you're still interested in joining, just email me at independencestnola.com or excuse me, independentstreetnola@gmail.com, or you guys can DM me in my Instagram. Okay. Till then, happy dark moon. I got a beautiful new deck that I'm going to start using soon. So when I start ramp up the card pooling again, which will be soon because we're screaming into Aquarius season. I'll be using that deck. It's a beautiful deck. I don't have it's sitting on my altar right now. Goddess of Love Tarot, a book and deck for embodying, it says the erotic divine feminine. Oh, okay, but it's a divine feminine deck, so I want to use it. And it's by Gabriella Herstick and Juliana Popescu. And I want to tell you guys, Juliana Popescu, if you go on Instagram and go to Snakes for Hair, that's her. She sells the most beautiful candles. Like I buy her candles. And they smell so good. And then I was looking, and then she had made a post yesterday, and I was like, wait a minute, or a couple days ago, and I was like, you illustrated a tarot deck? So I went out and got it. So, and what's nice which is one of the good things about social media is that we talk, we send each other little notes. I don't know her personally, but I do buy candles from her. And so I was able to ask her how to make sure I didn't butcher her last name. So that's the beautiful thing too about social media. Okay. Keeping things stable, keeping things from the present, and moving forward from there. Dark Moon Capricorn, you guys just rest because things are going to ramp up. Is it going to go 0 to 100? Maybe 0 to 90. All right. So see where you are now. See where you want to go in the future. Pick one word throughout the day. How do I feel right now? What am I creating from right now? Identify the feeling. And then say, do I want to create from anger? If that's the word, no. Do I want to create from compassion? Sure. Do I want to create from love? Sure. Do I want to create from joy? Sure. And so if those other words that are coming up, which are a little more spicy, pick one word so then you can work on it, dissolve it, transmute it, forgive yourself for feeling it in order to keep moving forward. Okay, guys, we got this. Till next time, I'm gonna go pick up Patrice, and we're gonna go to the 610 Stomper Ball. So 50-50 if I post the photos. Okay, till then.